Hello, amazing friends in the Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Facebook group. This is Nancy Juetten again, coming on just a little bit early to try something. I wanted to try to share my screen, and I was just wondering if I'm sharing my screen. And it says app is sharing a window, and it says, okay, so I don't know if you can see what I'm seeing, but if I wanted to show something to you, can you see? You know what? I'm just not going to do this. I'm going to hit stop sharing, and I'm going to hit that. And I'm going to start 4 minutes early with Bio Makeover Monday. Hello, everyone. It's Nancy Juetten. And you know what? I've never been first to market to learn how to use all the technology that's available to me. And I will probably keep it simple and live and real because that's just my best way of showing up. Today is Monday, November 23rd, and many of you are anticipating holiday turkey and cranberry sauce, and many of us are just still at work making our magic happen because we know that if we see through our commitments with full speed ahead between now and the end of the year, we can start 2021 in really great shape. And given the choice between getting fat and happy over holiday carbohydrates and getting lean and mean and doing the best work of my life, well, you know where I stand on that. Today is Bio Makeover Mondays and more. And what I do during Bio Makeover Mondays and more is I make over relevant and useful to talk about that can help you raise your game, raise your voice, make your impact, and of course, make money every step of the way. If you are a new member, I know I had the wonderful opportunity to speak to Tad Hargrave's Marketing for Hippies community last week, where we talked about list building, and quite a few folks from that speaking engagement hopped over to this group with a great deal of enthusiasm. So welcome all of you from the Marketing for Hippies tribe. I was also invited to speak for the JVIC premier group of clients from the JVIC what do they call it? The JVIC. And that's the Joint Venture Insider Circle. And I've been a founding member there and active in that community for a number of years. And it was a privilege that I had to speak to a number of very active, engaged listeners who were excited to learn about how to become the podcast dream guest that top hosts can't wait to book. And I know quite a few of you have joined the group as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're new to the group, be sure to visit the units tab here in the Facebook community, because there you can access the preview to the Bye Bye Boring Bio 2020 workbook and a template to help you easily and quickly create your media one sheet. And there's even a video to help you appreciate what a media one sheet is and why you need one. And I promise you, if you consume those materials and post on a subsequent Marketing Mondays and more, you will get really good feedback from me because you have followed the recipe and gotten off to a great start. So with that said, I want to talk about a couple of folks who submitted their bios to me ahead of time for my review. And I want to thank both of them. One of them's name is Allan Roberts, and the other is Dr. Damaris Drewry. I'm going to start with Allan Roberts, who is a client of the podcast Dream Guest Mastery course. And I want to thank you for jumping up and saying yes to that last month and for coming along with me for this journey. I see I have a little note here. Anyway, what I want to tell you about Allan first is that he's visually impaired. And so I've been going above and beyond the call to review his materials by email because he may not be able to participate as fully just because of his sensory challenge. And I just want to go the extra mile because that's the way I am. So Allan is on his way to guiding people, championing youth for a better tomorrow. And he's here. Let's see. Oh, good. So Allan, I'm talking to you live. I hope you're live here. You're live on the call, but he gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages of notes to review because he just didn't feel like he knew what to do. And it could be that he's having a hard time consuming the training I provided. I'm not really sure, but because he is a client and I want to do everything I can for him, I'm going to give you some suggestions, Allan, live right here on the call. So with so many pages, if your goal it is to get on podcasts and broadcasts and other stages, just know that giving people this much information at the start is the fastest way for someone to walk in the other direction, because they want you to get to the meat of the matter quickly so that they know whether or not you're the right guest for them. So since I've looked at bios and information like this for over a decade, I was able to pull out some of the pearls about you that I think a podcast host might be interested in. So I wrote this up for you for your consideration. Allan Roberts is the author of Wake Up, Don't Let the World Pass You By. He's on a mission to transform vulnerable students into high achievers so they can reach their true potential. As an inspirational speaker and mentor, Allan wants to support the next generation to succeed. He confesses that his own 75-year life journey could have been so much smoother had he had the benefit of his own advice. As a guest on your podcast, Allan can share how losing his eyesight gave him the vision to serve and bring his legacy alive today, tales from the trenches from his own troubled youth and how they can inform his mission today and tomorrow, and how he intends to raise 100,000 pounds for MentorLink and how you can help. I think what I've done there is encapsulize all 6 pages of your title, your foundational phrase, your positioning, the title of your speech, the story you shared, into a concise sharing of what would be relevant for a podcast host to know whether or not you're the one that they want. When I visited your website, Allan, I noticed that you showcase the book that you've written, and your author bio speaks about you as the author of the book, but it doesn't position you as someone who wants to be on a speaking tour talking about this particular book and the impact you hope to make from it. And I'm inviting you to take some lessons from what it is that I'm offering as an example to see if you could re-energize those messages on your website and be more specific about the call to action so that people will jump at the opportunity to benefit at the feet of your wisdom and have young people have this wonderful transformation. So if you are listening or watching, I hope that you will make a comment below this video and let me know how this serves you, because I know that when you consume the modules in your podcast Dream Guest Mastery course step by step, and you do the homework step by step and post here in the group, you will get the transformation that you came for, and anything less than that is simply not good enough. What I don't want people to do is not consume the training, not consume the units tab resources that I'm making available, and just share what you've slapped together on your own, because that doesn't demonstrate taking the initiative to consume the content that I provided to help hasten your path to success. I want you to want your result enough to consume the training, do the homework, and submit your best effort forward. And I hope I've given you a jump start into what your Media One sheet or bio could be and you're welcome to use the words that I've shared, but I want you to keep your eye on who is the audience that's going to be hearing from you. What is it that their audience wants to hear, and how can you add value to that conversation as a guest? Because I think when you do that, you'll be able to go from one guest spot to the next guest spot, to the next bigger show, to the next bigger show. And when you have a way to bring people into your world, if they're making the donations through your site, that's something you can count, treasure, and measure. If they're going to your site to download the first 2 chapters of your book, that's something you can treasure and measure. If you're inviting people to go and buy your book and donate the proceeds of the book sale to the cause that you are waving the flag for, that's another thing you can treasure and measure. But you need to have a way to monetize or contribute to the bigger mission that you have. And I think that some of these suggestions I'm making may help you hasten the path to that outcome. The next person I want to talk about today is Damaris Drewry, and she is from Beyond Talk Therapy. And we talked a little bit about Damaris last week, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about her today, because she has this very specific protocol to help people who have sleep apnea heal the cause of their sleep apnea at the root cause. And when she shared with me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 very dense paragraphs about what it is that she does, my first reaction was to love and care for Damaris because she really needs to express herself. But the number two thing was, wow, that's a lot of information. And sometimes we just have a hard time getting to the meat of the matter with our own brilliance so that other people can appreciate why it's so valuable. And that is why it's easier to write a 50,000 word manuscript than it is to write a 50-word bio that's going to attract attention from a person of influence that hello. But because I've looked at so many bios through the years, I'm able to like put on my decoder ring and go to the meat of the matter and find it for you. And I did that, I think, because after reading the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 very dense paragraphs, I thought to myself, why is this interesting to a much wider audience? So let's try this out and you can let me know what you think. And I see there are 2 people watching. If you want to type in a note and say, my name is, and I am Damaris, or I am Allan, just so I know that you're watching, because it's always nice to have participation. So I write here, sufferers of sleep apnea are being sold solutions that line the pockets of the industry without getting to the root cause of the problem. It's a billion-dollar industry for which its consumers need a timely wake-up call. When Dr. Damaris guests on your podcast, she'll share point 1, point number 2, point number 3. And within a matter of 8 sessions over 2 to 3 months, Dr. Damaris's protocol that's proven and showcased in trade journals can address the root cause of sleep apnea and make CPAP forced air machines a thing of the past. Well, now at least we know what the problem is. I mean, if you are suffering from sleep apnea and you can't go to sleep without an expensive CPAP machine and you're stuck to a CPAP machine for the rest of your life, wouldn't it be a great option to know that in a matter of 8 sessions over 2 to 3 months, you could kick that problem to the curb and sleep peacefully without mechanics? I think that's, for someone who suffers from that, I don't suffer from it personally, but if I did, I would be running, not walking, to benefit from this proven protocol that's been showcased in these trade journals and has changed the lives of so many people. But when you go on and on, you know, if I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. I don't remember who said that. It might have been Winston Churchill. It might have been Abraham Lincoln. I'm really big on attribution, but I don't remember who said it first. If I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. So if you find that you have 6 or 8 paragraphs about what it is that you do, you've got a challenge of clarity and you have a challenge of attracting the attention of a demanding an audience that has a lot of demand on their time. Any influencer, decision maker, someone who's ready to invest wisely in the benefit of what it is that you bring, they want to know, what is it, why does it matter, and how's it going to help me, and how can I buy it? And what I think I've done for Dr. Damaris here is made clear very quickly why this is important. And in terms of finding audiences that want to learn about sleep apnea, I imagine that there are podcasts that are all about health and sleep deprivation and how to re-energize for a more productive life. Those might be places to start to find audiences where this message would be welcome and appreciated and even prioritized to put at the top of the line. So those are 2 little bio makeovers that I've provided to you today that I hope will have lessons from which you can draw value for your own message that you share, always keeping in mind, what is it that you want this bio to do for you? Do you want this bio to open a door to a podcast that has hundreds or thousands or many more listeners that can beat a path to your door? Do you want this message to show up in front of potential clients who will find their relief in the solution that you provide and want to get on the phone with you to see what next might be their final step or their next best strategic step? If you're not clear about what you want people to do, sometimes they do absolutely nothing, and that is a disservice to your brilliance and to the many people whose lives you can touch and transform when you're more clear about it. So I hope that's helpful. I'm just going to go into the Facebook group here and see if anybody's commenting, because you know me and technology, I'm always, bending and swaying between the necessary evil of it and Oh, Alan says, thank you for doing this for me. I love what you have done. Hi, Nancy. Hey there, Bettina. So glad you're here. Awesome. Awesome. Yay. Okay. So I have a couple of things I wanted to talk about in addition. That's why we call it that's why we call it Bio Makeover Mondays and more, because I know bio makeovers are important as that door opener, but there's so much other things that we can be talking about that can really hit our bottom line and make a big darn difference. And I'm all for that. And I bet you are too. So I want to ask, how long has it been since you most recently asked your best clients for testimonials? Having the social proof from a happy client can go a long way to helping future clients feel confident in doing business with you. And as you look to, here we are at the end of November, many of you probably have new products, programs, and services you're debuting in the fall or relaunching again. Now is a great time to reach out to those people that you have had the privilege to work with and ask them, how was this for you? What big outcomes did you get? And so I wanted to share a couple of things that you might want to ask your best clients, okay? Did you get what you came for? How was your experience? Were your expectations met or exceeded? If you were to assign 5 stars to the experience that you had 5 stars to apply to the experience and the results that you welcomed, how many would you assign to this experience? And if you were talking to a friend about what just happened in your program, product, or service, what would you say? I promise you, when you ask these questions of your best clients, you will get marketing gold direct from their lips that can be social proof to compel your future clients to want to enroll with you. I asked one of my clients in the Broadcast Your Brilliance program these same questions, and Barbara Ingracia answered them. Yes, I got a new bio, a new media one sheet, and ideas for a quiz. Yes, my expectations were met and exceeded. Nancy, you are generous with time and resources. What would you say to a friend? Just do it. Nancy over delivers. She cares about each person. She has the amazing talent of coming up with juicy sound bites just like that. How many stars did she give me? Not just 5, she gave me 10. How awesome is that? I also heard from Maureen Cures of Radiant Morning, and she said, working with Nancy in the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp was the best investment of time and money I have made this year. Through insightful education and targeted action coaching, I was able to buff up my boring bio, complete my media kit, snazz up my signature talk, get booked on podcasts, and lock and load my game plan to be a powerful podcast guest. Nancy is a masterful wordsmith who has laser quick brain that finds the perfect phrase to make my writing from boring to brilliant. She shares her talent freely in the action coaching she does with each client on her training calls, and listening to her coach others gave me the gift of so many golden nuggets to use in my own business. Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp is a 5-star experience and well worth the investment. This is marketing gold. And speaking of being worth the investment, some people are hesitant to make the investment and take a lot of time to think about it before they jump into the pool. And Jack Ori was one of them. He says, it took me a long time to sign up for the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp because I was letting the price hold me back. I can easily say this is one of the best investments I've made in my future. In the 6 weeks, I not only clarified what I wanted to do in my business, but created my first coaching program, practiced and refined my signature speech, took advantage of opportunities to speak that I wouldn't have gotten without the program. Nancy is personable and knowledgeable, and she'll walk with you every step of the way on the journey towards making an impact in the world. Highly recommend. I couldn't be more proud of the testimonials that my clients are sharing about their experience in the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp. And you know what? The intentions that I had for the bootcamp were clear as day before I taught my first class. And by the way, I've been teaching this course for on and off for about 8 years. But I said we would become a powerful community. We would link arms. We would support each other along our path to greatness, and that we would accomplish everything we set out to achieve and more. And every single client that stepped into the boot camp got that experience and more, and is now my champion, my advocate, my referral source, my alumni member who's gladly investing to get a chance to do it again. And so if you're excited about the opportunity to work with me, if you are someone who has struggled with your bio, recognizes that podcast guesting and virtual speaking is something that you want to do, you want my eyes on your message in a way that will turn your head and open doors for you, and more importantly, you want to figure out a way to monetize your brilliance so that you can smile all the way to the bank, the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp is gearing up to start again in middle January. And what I have put together is this fantastic invitation for you where you can, I'm happy to share it with you now, but I'm going to also share it on December 2nd after I teach you how to be the podcast dream guest that top hosts can't wait to book. Because when you decide to jump into the pool, you're going to have the benefit of podcast dream guest mastery to enjoy over the holidays, so you can get your act together before we get to the first class. And then when we do our first class, it's going to be all eyes on your bio, your media one sheet, and what mission you're fighting for. And then I'm going to guide you to accomplish all kinds of magnificent things. For example, I am going to guide you to number 1, review, upgrade, and finish your holiday homework from Podcast Dream Guest Mastery. Number 2, we're going to create systems for regular bookings as you practice the rule of 5 as your new habit. Week number 3, you're going to pitch like it counts, because it really does. Week number 4, you're going to create your 20-minute talk so you can speak more anytime, anywhere without leaving your home, whether it's to your own community, your own Facebook group, on the group, borrowing the audience of others, or being a podcast guest. And then we're going to practice and refine the delivery of your message while anticipating your tech requirements like a pro. And even if you're not perfect, you can still show up, as I am the perfect example. And then we're going to celebrate wins and anticipate next steps. But what I'm believing for you is that if you know that speaking up virtually on podcasts, broadcasts, your own community, your own Facebook group is a priority, but you are all over the place with regard to your message and how clear it is and how concise it is and how compelling it is and how well it paves a path for you to smile all the way to the bank, these are all problems that we're going to solve in spades as a client in the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp. So if you are called to learn more about that, you can simply visit https go to my website at getknowngetpaid.com/BYB, which stands for Broadcast Your Brilliance, and check out all the wonderful value that is posted there that is yours when you just say yes. And I hope that you do. And for those of you who are not quite ready for that kind of decision, just know that on December 2nd, I'm going to be coming on live in this Facebook group to talk more detail about how to be the podcast dream guest that top hosts can't wait to book. And if you have not yet registered for that webinar, which is going to happen live right here in this group, as you look along the bottom of your screen, you'll see a link that you can visit, and it will get you officially registered. And the benefit of officially registering is you will get the reminders to show up live. You will likely receive the replay to enjoy at your convenience for a limited time. There may be other goodies that I have for you that you'll only get if you opt in specifically to register officially. And I hope that you do. We have about 1,500 members here in this group, and chances are you know of other people who could benefit from learning how to be the podcast dream guest that top hosts can't wait to book. And this is my plea and invitation. Why don't you invite a few of your speaker author friends to join us? And the more the merrier. I'll be delivering a lot of value during the training. It's a masterclass. It goes for 75 minutes. So I'll be training for about an hour. And then I will be inviting you officially to either take your place in the Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Inner Circle, which is the most premium way that you can work with me, or you have the opportunity to join me for the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp. Why do we call it boot camp? Because when you take 6 weeks to get yourself in top stellar shape and make habits that become well-formed behaviors as a pitcher, as a speaker, as a human being who develops influence with people that are high value and have great reach, when I teach you those lessons and you learn your lessons well, number one, you're going to be able to go forward as a fit athlete to accomplish all kinds of amazing things on your own, or you may decide that being in that kind of a community of high-level achievers is something that really excites you, in which case you're going to want to step up to a place in the Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Inner Circle. And I'm very, very excited to lead this high-level group. And if it's something that you feel is right for you, you can reach out to me at Nancy at getknowngetpaid.com and say, I'm ready to play a bigger game in 2021, and I want to link arms with movers and shakers and people who are going downtown fast, and I want to be one of them. This is a mid 4-figure investment for a 6-month journey with me. And if that's not doable for you, that's okay. But if it is doable for you, the inner circle could be exactly where you need to be. And if just getting started and getting your act together is where you need to be, the boot camp is an outstanding choice, and it's certainly much more budget friendly. And I think it will serve you well, regardless of where you are in your journey. So I hope that you have enjoyed Bio Makeover Mondays and more today. We talked about Allan, and we talked about Dr. Drewry, and we talked about the power of testimonials and how important it is to ask for them. And I shared with you 5 questions that you can ask of your best clients to get answers to, so that you can get marketing gold to showcase as social proof in your own marketing efforts with your products, programs, and services. As we head into the Thanksgiving week, I invite you to do a rampage of gratitude for all that is in your life and work that gives you joy and brings meaning and brings impact to those that you're lucky to touch and transform through your work. I invite you to also reflect on what kind of a year you've had and ask yourself what kind of a year you'd like to have coming forward. And if I might be I might play a role in that. And then as we head into the final moment, I want to make a personal plea for a friend of mine, someone who's a member of this group. His name is Omar Rivas, and I have shared about his medical fundraiser multiple times within the group. Imagine being a speaker where every bite you take and every move you make is pain in your jaw, and you can't speak and your mouth can't function, and the normal experience of enjoying a meal or delivering a presentation becomes a pain-infused experience. If you make your living as a speaker and you're not able to speak without pain, sure is hard to make a living. And Omar has made a courageous ask to help of all of us to help support him in accomplishing his medical fundraiser goal. And he must achieve it by December 9th in order to proceed with the surgery that is going to realign his jaw and allow him to speak and chew and whatnot. I mean, it's just an amazing kind of recovery that he's going to have. But with 1,500 members in this group, if everyone gave $10, that would be $15,000. But here's the beautiful thing. One of his colleagues has agreed to double every donation made between now and December 5th. So if you are called to give up 2 cups of coffee at Starbucks and give that $10 to Omar Rivas's medical fundraising campaign, I promise you that the smile that will be on your face and his for having contributed to his important transformation to pain-free speaking, eating, and living will be something that will stay with you longer than that cup of coffee. And in this time of Thanksgiving, where we all have so much to be grateful for and so much to be thankful of, I hope that you will reach into your pocket, give $10 to this medical fundraiser, and feel good in the power of the community that we've built here in this amazing group. I love being an angel in the outfield, but I can't do it alone. So I hope that you will see fit to give to Omar. He's an eloquent, amazing talented speaker who deserves to have the opportunity to speak up and share his message, as we all do. But it takes a lot of courage to ask for help. And I honor that. And I'm being the angel in the outfield to encourage others to step up, to lend that support to him so that he can have the surgery that will allow him to live pain-free and speak up more completely in the important work that he does. So I hope that you have enjoyed Bio Makeover Mondays and more. I am your fearless leader, Nancy Juetten. I love serving you in all the ways that I do, and I look forward to having an even deeper opportunity to work with you in the Broadcast Your Brilliance Bootcamp or the Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Inner Circle. And I'll be telling you more about that when? On December 2nd at 10 o'clock, live right here in the Facebook group. The page to visit to officially register is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And when I close up this video, I'm looking forward to seeing dozens and dozens of opt-ins, because what you measure gets treasured, and what you measure gets treasured turns into a training experience that can be game-changing for you and for the friends of yours that you invite to come along. So with that, I am grateful for you. I'm grateful for the opportunity I have to serve you, and I look forward to seeing what brilliant things you accomplish as a result of what you have learned today. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.